right. Well, thanks again, everyone, for joining us. I don't know if you heard me, but Emily and Roxanne are just finishing getting connected down there. So it's just going to be another minute. So I see that everybody's muted, which is great. And if you want to take a look and make sure you know where the chat box can be found on your computer, in case you have any questions, you can type that, you can hit that chat box that should be on the bottom of your screen, and you can type your question in there. And then when we're all finished, Roxanne and Emily will take any questions that you all have. So if you're not able to use the chat box or it's not working, I'm going to type my cell phone number in there as well. And you can always text me your question. Or we could always unmute you when it's all over. So whatever is going to be easiest for everybody. So thanks again. All right, we have Roxanne and Emily on board. So if you give me, just a minute. Once again, my name is Cecilia. I think I know almost everybody on the call, or, you've gotten emails for me. I am the development director for SewHope. I am not in Guatemala right now. I was there last November, and I'm hoping to go again this November. So just to go over everything, please make sure that you stay muted. If it freezes, we did a run through the other day, and the Wi-Fi is great in the school, but you know how it is with technology sometimes. If it freezes, please stay on the call. It will come back. If for some reason you get disconnected from the call, you can click the link that you received, and I can let you in. I can let you in the Zoom again. And as far as questions go, type them in the chat box. You can send me a text message, or we can unmute you when we're all finished. So I'd like to introduce Roxanne Ward, who many of you know. She is one of our board members, and she's the chair of our education committee. And behind the camera is Emily Osborne, our mission administrator. And the two of them have been in Guatemala since last week. And they're really excited to show you, to give you a tour of our beautiful school. So Emily and Roxanne, take it away.
Hola, or hello from Guatemala. We're so happy that you could join us today. We are just so excited to share with you all the things that your monies that you have donated and your sponsorships have helped with at our school. I want to just give you a little history. A lot of you probably know a lot about it, but I wanted to let you know that Anne has been working here for many years. And when she first worked here, we didn't have a clinic of our own. So she rented a place, and at that place, all these students were always coming with their mothers, and they were there lots of different times of the day. And she asked somebody, why is that? And the people said, well, we have schools, but the teachers don't show up most of the time, and it's only for a half day. And so Anne, being a problem solver, she thought, wow, we need to do something about this. So way back when Sister Pam Bagansky was working with us here, and somehow she went to this Dell convention, and she was able to get a $50,000 grant, and we started getting computers. This is way before the internet was popular. So the kids were working on programs on the computers. So speaking forward, we were able to build the clinic originally. And so then the kids were working in the clinic area. So on the porch, different places. And we, of course, had what we call a reinforcement program, not a private school. The reinforcement program, the kids would go to their own school a half day, then they would come here. And so they were getting so much. And the teachers at the schools commented about how much more advanced the kids that came here are. The kids here, we have Chromebooks and computers that the kids are working on with Raz Kids and Khan Academy, which are things that I know Miss McCall's class, they work on those at their school, at McGregor School. So they work on Raz Kids there. So we're working on the same, but now we have Spanish versions of those. So it's really amazing what we're able to do. So once we were working over at the clinic for a while, then we were able to secure the funds. Thank you to some very generous donors. And we started the school, and we have now built a school. So last year, when I was here in May and June, we dedicated the school with over 500 people from the community coming together with a pastor leading, and there's a mariachi band. It was just unbelievable. It was extremely tearful. They had the United States flag, the Guatemalan flag, the 10 flag, and just everyone was very excited to welcome this school. So then, speed forward a little more, our official school year in Guatemala starts in January. So it's different than our school. So it's January through pretty much the end of November. And as a result of that, we didn't start with our private school students until this last January. So we have 88 students in our private school, and we have 54 students in our reinforcement program. So we have one teacher who used to be a student in our program, and she now is a reinforcement teacher. She teaches a morning and an afternoon class, and she is still working over in the clinic because she is not in the actual private school. And here we have 4 teachers that are teaching kindergarten, first, second, and third. And the kindergarten, first, and second grade teachers also teach reinforcement to the kids who go to the school in the morning. They teach it here in the reinforcement in the afternoon. And then Sainer, who is a third grade teacher here, acts as our principal or administrator for the afternoon, where he meets with lots of people and helps in many ways. So, you know, that's where we are now. The kids are doing all kinds of things. I'm going to take you down to the kindergarten room, and I'm going to show you a little bit. And then at the end, the kids have a real special treat for you. So come on. These are the kindergarten. Hola. They were also working in their workbooks, and anyone who sponsors, you're going to get something really special from them coming back. So we're excited about that. So the first grade now, and this is Sadie teaching the first grade. From Mario. Oh. This is Sadie. And so, yes, Mother's Day here. And so the kids made amazing, or the teachers actually made an amazing celebration for the moms. They came, we had a tent, we had food for them, they had games, they had a special contest where they proclaimed a Miss Mama. So that would be like the grandest mother. And they had to do some competitions, and it was, you know, very different than what we are used to, but it was very exciting. And the women were all so appreciative of everything. They got things like pitchers and plates and cups and pans. So if you watch on our website, we'll be putting some things that happened yesterday on a post. So if you don't follow us on Facebook or Twitter, please do, because we always are posting exciting things. So I'm going to take you down. Now, next is actually, well, let me show you here. So, hola. In here we have the boys and the girls' restrooms. So they have 2 stalls for each. And then in the back, we keep the KAH food, and we also have Sainer's administrative office. So next, I'm going to take you to a third grade. This is Sainer's, but in the meantime, I bet you Emily would like to show you some of the crafty work these kids have been doing with recycled materials. And they've been planting and making all kinds of amazing creations. And now we're at the third grade. This is Sainer. And hola. And you can see the students are working in their workbooks right now. Earlier this morning, they were working on Khan Academy and Raspberries. So they were using those computers every day. So that's part of the money that you, with your sponsorship, that is able to be paid for, as well as the uniforms the kids wear, the shoes they wear, the backpacks, and everything like that. So let's go down. This is Wendy. And this is a second grade classroom. Hola. these students have been working on, this morning, they were working on, they have like the color, one of the things is the colors in Spanish, in English, and then a pronunciation. So when I was working with the kids this last week, they were able to, when I held up a color, they said the English version of it. So it was kind of cool. They try to teach them a little bit of English. So I think that when we come, we're able to, they're able to feel good about being able to communicate with us a little bit. So those are the classrooms. And now I'd like to show you some of the things that else that happen. So out here, you'll see these are the gardens. We have lots of things, and you can see a massive amount of watermelon. And this morning there were kids that were picking watermelon, and they're going to get to take one home. And there was a lot of excitement, certainly, with that. So the kids do help. And that's another thing we'll have on the website, is how the kids help to water things out here and are taught about that, because it's so important that they be able to know how to grow their own food and help themselves sustain. If you look out there, you can see those elevated gardens, which are tomato, excuse me, those are tomato plants, and they've all got lots of buds on them. We have plantain trees in the front. We have cucumbers like crazy. The kids just will pick up a cucumber and eat it for a snack. They have watermelon quite a bit, and they also make a juice with watermelon. So if you continue looking around, and you can see this, that was all the horticulture area. And then you see the blue building with the tin roof. That is where the kids eat their meals. So every day when the kids come to school, they get to have a meal. And some moms come in and prepare that meal. And it's pretty much like metal with a hole in it. They put wood in, and then they make the food there for the kids. So they get that meal every day. They wash their own dishes. We're trying to teach them to clean up after themselves, including in the classroom. So that's another thing that is happening. And on the left-hand side is where that reinforcement class is. And then if you want to scan around, Emily, this is the clinic, the long building in the back. And then this is to the right is the hostel. So we're staying in that hostel. So I think I may have covered everything. Cecilia, can you think of anything that you'd like me to talk about that I haven't talked about yet?
Hi, thanks, Roxanne. I loved hearing about your trip to call this weekend with the students. And I think maybe, it would be great if you could tell us a little bit about that really unique experience that everybody had.
Oh, thank you for asking. I can't believe I forgot that. So there are ruins here in Tikal, and we took 62 students there on Sunday. So this meant that teachers gave up their Sundays with their families and were able to come, but they're so cheerful about it. It's just amazing. So the bus was supposed to leave at 7 o'clock. And I was kind of joking with Emily, is that like American 7 o'clock or is that Guatemalan? Well, it was Guatemalan time because they came at 8:20. And so we left on a school bus and we went to Tikal. It was about an hour and 10 minute drive. And then once you checked in, Emily and I had to show them our passports, and they actually stamped our passport with something from Tikal, which was very cool. But we went in, and Myra, who is our director here, her husband is so knowledgeable. He joined us, and he was able to give lots and lots of information to the kids. He gave the history. He knows about all the trees, the national tree, the tree that you get gum from, the chiclet tree. So he told a lot of different things about that. We were quiet because it's in a rainforest, and we listened to hear all kinds of different things in the rainforest. And then the kids brought water. Some of them brought food. So we took some rest because where you were walking, there were some steps, but they were, if you were talking about a vehicle, you'd probably say rickety, but they were very inconsistent, and there are a lot of tree roots that go across. So it was kind of an obstacle course, but that was really neat. So one of the main structure that we went up was 25 meters up, and the stairs were kind of like this and about this wide. There was a railing, but then when you got to the top, there was no railing, and the kids were just kids. And Emily and I are like, oh, this is very close to the edge. So anyways, we got some great pictures. So I hope you'll also look on our website for that, or our Facebook or Twitter. But we just had a great time. So then we ended up stopping at the restaurant that was at the beginning of the park. They had the food already. And so we had, it was, I mean, fancy, I would say, for here. There were tablecloths, and they had regular plates, and the kids went in through a buffet line, and but the buffet, they served it. And then the kids all sat down and had their meal. And then we headed back. But I think one of the funny things is some of the kids, from the time we got to the parking spot into Cal back to that restaurant, had already fallen asleep. It was a very long day. We got back at 6:30 here. So, and that was, a lot of it was walking and walking up those structures and seeing the ruins. So it was just amazing that the kids were able to experience that. And the really amazing part is, we really thought we were paying for this, but Sainer was able to secure a free entry to the park for all of us. And then we only had to pay for the meal for the kids. So we were super happy about that. So it was a great trip. We had so many parents thank us. And just getting back to that Mother's Day celebration yesterday, I had many moms come up and say to me, you know, thank you so much for your sponsorship. And they just said that they appreciate all the people in the United States that are so supportive of them. And I told them we are happy to support them. And we want their kids to be able to have a great education so that they can really go far in this world. Cecilia?
Thanks, Roxanne. Yeah. So I was just wondering if you could explain a little bit sort of the difference between schools in Guatemala and schools in America. You know, I know there's so many things that are different. So sort of what stands out to you as far as, you know, the differences between the education systems, and then really what our school is offering, what, you know, SewHope school is offering that the public schools in Guatemala, you know, that these children don't have access to in those schools.
Well, they definitely don't have access to computers. I have not been to one of the public schools, but I've seen pictures, and it's pretty much under a tin kind of a roof, and it's dirt floor and very, very, I don't want to say archaic, but old things. And like I said before, when the teachers show up, then they show up, and if they don't, they don't. So it's kind of a waste of a family's day. So we want to get these kids educated. Here, of course, we have a beautiful school. The classrooms are nice. They're ventilated so that the kids get some air. We provide a meal. They do not do that in the public school. We are able to work with kids individually, which is really nice. The kids get a lot of experience with that. They're learning, as I mentioned before, a little bit of English. Schools in the United States are really very different. Everything here moves at a little bit slower pace than what we're used to. I would love it if we could have a smart board here. That would be amazing. They do have dry erase boards in the classrooms, but a smart board would be really good. It's one of the things we're wondering if it'll work with all of the humidity here, because let us tell you, it's very humid here. Our weather has been above normal. It's normally a high of 80, and it's been a high of one day, well, more than one day, 105, and it's humid. So double deodorant is what we say. Did that answer your question, Cecilia, or did I miss something?
No, that was great. That was great. Thanks, Roxanne. So
You're
I'm
welcome.
curious too about, you know, if you could sort of explain to people what programs the mothers of our students are able to take part in by sending their children to SewHope. You know, so sort of touch on some of the agriculture programs, you know, and how really, you know, in addition to like the Mother's Day celebration, the families have access to, you know, a lot of the other things that we offer as well.
Okay, so one thing that we have are chickens, and you know, you've seen that on the LEAP event. So we have chickens, and then we teach the moms how to raise chickens, and then of course that is hopefully for eggs. lasts a little longer. So that's one of the things. So the families are able to do that. We teach them the different things with horticulture, how to grow things so that they can be self-sustaining. We also have fish farm where they can come and not have their own, but they can buy fish here. The one thing I know from the dedication, the people are very giving. When we had the dedication, we had 500 people here, as I mentioned, but there were a few moms that made 2,000 tortillas for that celebration. And the interesting thing is every child brought some corn in to help for that. And then the teachers boiled it. And then they took it somewhere and had it ground. And then those parents made that. So it's just a real community. Even yesterday at that Mother's Day celebration, you could just see how the mothers were very fond of one another and they were laughing, and it was really amazing. So those are some of the programs. I mean, obviously, they know about our clinic and they're able to use that. And just Anne's been super busy since she's been here with lots of people. And if you were following us, you'll know that Anne and Emily, and along with the whole team, went to a Coronado, which is where they go out and they do pap tests. It was a 4-hour drive there. Actually, halfway there, they had to stop and get in pickup trucks because the roads are so rough that they had to get in those and then drive to that location. And they did 50 paps there, and they had some results that were needed assistance and needed help. So that was really good. And those are people who normally would not get it. So get a pap test. So I would say the staff here goes the extra mile. They want to improve the area so much, and they work really long hours to do that. So it's amazing.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thanks, Roxanne. Does anyone on the call have any questions? You can go ahead and either unmute yourself or you can type it in the chat box. So please don't hesitate to do that if you have any questions. That's great. All right, great. Roxanne, maybe, I know we're just sort of waiting for the students to come out, it looks like.
Yes, well, yes.
They're going to be doing a performance.
Now.
Yeah, that's
okay.
Sure. No,
that's Emily follows me and I can ask them to come out. Okay.
Yeah. Awesome. So the students have been rehearsing for the past couple of days. I know they're very excited that they're going to be performing a song for everybody. And as you can sort of see, as Roxanne's walking, all the classrooms are painted in very bright colors. A lot of the buildings in Guatemala, even in the villages, in the small towns, the buildings all have bright colors. So we incorporated that when choosing the paint for our school. And really, you can sort of see the windows there on the right and how all of those were put in and designed so that the airflow flows really well from the back of the classroom through the front. Like Roxanne said, there's no air conditioning. It tends to get very hot. So the building was designed in a way that it could take advantage of the wind and where it's coming in from. So that sort of helps keep things cool for the students. And there's another nice view sort of the property over there. Yeah, that's great. And sort of that gravel area that you see right there, if you want to stop, Emily, that's where everybody just sort of comes in. And, in the United States, we have where the buses come or where car line is. And that is where, that is where everybody sort of gets dropped off. And we have a question about how many children are in each classroom. And Roxanne would know the exact number. It's anywhere from like 18 to 25 in each classroom, at any given time. And then we also have the reinforcement program where the students that go to one of the local schools, they come and get tutored in the afternoon as a supplement to their public school education. So yeah, here they go. The students are all so sweet and well behaved. Emily and Roxanne can attest to that from their trip to call this weekend with them.
All right, they're gathering here. You can see they have the uniforms. This is kind of interesting. So we buy the tops and the pants and the shoes, but for the girls, the moms sew the uniforms and sew the jumper or the skirt. So the moms actually make those things. So it's amazing. Some of the people must have had some extra material and they made little hair bows for the kids, which was really cute. You might notice that these kids have on name tags. So when I came last time, I thought for sure I would be able to figure out which kid was which when I was trying to send to sponsors. Well, that is not so easy. So I made name tags for every classroom and I made them in different colors so that I would be able to identify them right away because, you know, fool me once, shame on me, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me. That was it. So here comes the reinforcement kids right over here. And
so Roxanne, do you have time for another quick question?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, thanks. So somebody asked, what is the most common form of transportation? So we have all kinds of stories about that. So if you want to go ahead and let us know.
Well, by foot is definitely one of the most popular ways, but we have kids that come on bicycles. We have kids who come on motorcycles. Now, they come with their families, and if there's 3 kids, all the people are on the motorcycle together. I pretty much have a heart attack when I see that happening because the roads are rough, people are not fabulous drivers, and a lot of people with no helmets, except for the only person that we've seen wear a helmet and a reflective vest is Carmen, who works for us in the clinic. She is very smart and she wears that, but the kids come like that. The other vehicle that they bring is called a tuk-tuk. And I think a lot of people maybe who've traveled other places know this. I wasn't familiar with it. It has 2 wheels on the back and 1 wheel on the front, and it almost looks like a Tonka truck. So they come in that. Some kids, some families do have a car and they come in the car or a truck. But for the most part, walking, bicycle, and motorcycle. Motorcycle, I'd say, is probably the most popular, but I do have to say, when I was here last time going down the road, I saw a wagon by a donkey, cars, trucks, tuk-tuks, motorcycles, scooters, everything. So in one little note, their electrical poles are down the middle of the road and they have no protection on them. So that was a real shock too. All right, let me think. I think the kids are almost ready. So I think Emily's going to move out a little bit here.